In today's video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about preference pages, consent pages, subscriber pages, and all that good stuff within Klaviyo. My name is Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and if you want help with this stuff, there's a link down in the description to book a call with me. Anyway, let's get into the video. Look at that, I've changed cameras. Isn't that crazy technology? Okay, so whether you're new to Klaviyo or you've been using it for a little while, I'm gonna really break down the preference center, okay? So this is gonna go from start to finish. So let me give you a quick outline of what we're gonna cover. First, we'll talk about what the preference center actually is and why it matters. Then we'll look at the different types of consent pages that make up the preference center. And yes, there are a few different ones, so I'm gonna break them all down. And after that, I will show you exactly where to find these pages inside of Klaviyo. We will walk through how to edit, customize each one, and I will show you how to collect extra information from your subscribers using profile properties on the preference center. Okay, so let's go really broadly, quickly. What is the preference center? The preference center is essentially a set of web pages that give your email subscribers control over their relationship to your brand. So if we go here, right, we go settings and we go into preference center, wherever it is. Where are you? Sorry, it's actually located within the lists themselves. So if we go here, for example, and we go here, consent pages, and then we go to default pages here, and I'll take you straight here. So within this here, so sorry it was under other, but you can access it deliberately from each list as well. You've got your preference page, subscribe page, email confirmation, and email unsubscribe page. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit more. All right, at its simplest form, a preference center is a set of web pages that give your email subscribers control over their relationship with your brand. So instead of forcing someone to either receive every email you send or unsubscribe completely, a preference center gives them like a middle ground. They can tell you what they actually want to hear about. They can update their details. They can choose how often they receive emails from you. And if they do want to leave, they can have a clean way to do that. Now, why does this matter? Think about it from your subscriber's perspective. You've been getting emails from a brand, right? Maybe you love them at first, but lately they feel like they're just a little bit too frequent, or the content is just not relevant to you anymore. And if the only option is to unsubscribe, right, then they're going to be gone. They're out, right? Most people will just tap that. But if you can click a link that says manage your preferences, and people just dial back the frequency or opt out of one content type, or a good chunk of people, well, by the way, a good chunk of people actually are interested in doing this. This means better list retention, better engagement, better open rates, and a healthier sender reputation, because people are no longer unsubscribing. Instead, they are just adjusting their preferences. From a compliance perspective, having a clear and functional preference center is also an important part of meeting standards like CAN-SPAM, GDPR, and the New Zealand Spam Act. We're not going to go deep into legal compliance today, but just so you know, this is not like a nice to have. It's a foundational piece of good email marketing practice. Now, here's how Klaviyo handles it, okay? Your preference center is made up of what they call consent pages, which is this right here. Okay, and within these consent pages, you can manage a whole bunch of things. The preference page, right, how they manage their email preferences, what they see when they subscribe, and then email confirmation. This is if you're sending like double opt-in. This is the email confirmation page, and then email unsubscribe. So when they go to click unsubscribe, it can take them to a page to then update and manage certain things. Okay, so let's break down each one of these. Preference pages. The first category is preference pages, and this is the heart of your preference center. It's the page your subscribers land on when they click Manage Your Preferences link in one of your emails. So on this page, I'm going to open it up in a second, subscribers can update information about themselves. Out of the box, it's fairly simple, but you can customize it to ask things like their product interests, how often they want to hear from you, or personal details, so on and so forth. So let's take a look at it, right? So we'll go Edit Page. Here it is, right? This is a standard preference center. Email, first name, last name. These are the only preferences that we are currently asking them to essentially update within this account. But, and if they do it, they'll go ahead and say, hey, here's your preferences. You can add other things. Blocks, for example. Text input. So you can say something like this. Tell us what you're interested in. Okay. And then I would recommend putting it in as like radio. Honestly, don't go text. Go multi-check box or radio buttons. So if you want to go like, tell us what you're interested in, and then you give them options, and then make it like interest category. And when they fill this out, you can be like, hey, oranges, Command C, then you go apples, and then when they select it, you can actually update their profile property with their interest category here. So if they're interested in apples, they go here. If they're interested in oranges, they go here, so on and so forth, right? And here, you just fill that out and you're good to go. That's how you manage the preference center. I'm going to delete these here because I don't actually want these to save. Then you have your subscribe pages. So if we go back, go to Klaviyo. Now, the subscribe page where someone can sign up to your email list, Klaviyo will automatically create a hosted subscribe page for pretty much every list in your account, and you can share that URL everywhere. Social media, blog posts, and even linked on your website if you want. So like if you want to do fun things like on your social media and you want to be like, hey, join us here, you can send them directly to this form here. It's the subscribe page, right? You hit publish, and then you take the link and you give it directly to them, okay? So if your list is set to single opt-in when they subscribe, subscribers are taken straight to the success page after they submit. If you use double opt-in, they will see a confirmation page telling them to check their email, right? So if it's, let me show you what I mean. In Klaviyo, right, your lists can be set to single opt-in or double opt-in. I recommend changing and ensuring all of your lists are set to single opt-in. So I go here, consent pages, or rather settings. So I'm in a list, and I go settings, and I click consent, select single opt-in. This means they don't have to go into their inbox and confirm that they want to receive emails from you after having selected that. So just select single opt-in, all right? Now, this subscribe page is basically just a page that you can fire out and give to people. So if I delete this, right, click exit, you can give people this page and essentially get them to opt in directly from there, okay? Now, if they opt into a specific list, right, action subscribe, it'll take them essentially directly to where the list, well, the settings from the list, right? So you can go here, they opt in. If the list setting is single opt-in, they're going to go straight to the success page here. If it's set to double opt-in, they're going to go to confirmation page, and then they're going to go to the success page off the back of it, okay? Now, the email confirmation pages. This is the second block. So if we go here, bring this open here. Let me just go here. Email confirmation. This is if you have set your list to double opt-in, and they get an email, and they click confirm, and then they go in and they opt in. All right, so for example, your list is set to double opt-in. They opt into your newsletter. They will automatically get an email that says confirm your subscription. When they click confirm my subscription, it'll take them to this page here, and then you hit yes, I want to subscribe. I do not recommend ever using this, to be honest. Don't use it, get rid of it, not useful, and it's going to it's just going to hamper your list growth. Just don't do it. The fourth category is unsubscribe pages, all right? So if we go here, unsubscribe pages. Now, this covers what happens when somebody clicks unsubscribe link in one of your emails. There's an unsubscribe page, right? So when they click unsubscribe, this is where they will be taken to after they click that button. And then they can put their email address and put in unsubscribe, right? That's if they do it from within the email. And it gives people essentially the opportunity to unsubscribe. Now, Klaviyo's default version includes a link to your preference page at the bottom. See this here? So they can click this and then actually update their preferences, right? Here. So if we go here, let's go into consent pages, preference page. You can actually ask them, here's an example. Let's get rid of this. How often would you like to hear from us? And then you can do this. You can say once per week, as much as you like, once per month, and you can tag them, okay? So once per week, okay? As much as you like, once per month. And so here, you can tag when they select this option, right? And then you can filter people within the segments based on their profile property tag. For example, if somebody goes onto the preference center and they're like, I would only like to hear from you once per month, you create a segment of people whom have the tag, interest category, and the property once per month, and from there you suppress them, okay? That is how, or rather you exclude them from receiving regular emails, and you ensure they only receive emails once per month, right? That's how you use the preference center, okay? Now you can edit these pretty much any way that you want, right? So you can edit them directly here, like within your settings, just blocks, images, you can do whatever you want, right? You can edit them. It's pretty much fully functional. The only time I'd really recommend using these is if you do want to update the preference center here based on the amount of emails that somebody wants to receive. Pretty much it, okay? These pages aren't going to be landed on that much, okay? It's not super common that someone's going to hit this and actually update their preferences. More often than not, they're either A, going to unsubscribe, or B, land here. Now, really quick note, each list has its own set of pages. If you do not set specific pages for specific lists, it'll use the default pages. But let me give you an example, right? So if I go here and I go, you can set up, see this here? You can set up a subscribe page. You can go into settings, consent, set it to single opt-in, right? And you can go into the consent pages and you can customize the consent pages for this list, right? So that you can give people in certain lists separate experiences relative to the list that they're in, right? So you can create like a consent page or a preference center for only people who are in a giveaway list, for example, or only people who are in a cold email list or whatever, right? You can update specific preference centers for them separately. Any questions? Let me know.